It's a new day on Daytime, and today we are learning about the law of the garbage truck.
Specifically, how to stop letting people dump their garbage on you. Do not pull that red handle,
This
they
one?
said.
This
Don't,
one?
yeah, don't do that.
Don't pull it?
Bad idea.
It's a no dump zone.
Yes.
Okay. Welcome back, everyone. How often do you let other people's nonsense change your mood? Do you let a bad driver, rude waiter, curt boss, or an insensitive employee ruin your day?
Well, you don't have to let others dump their garbage on you. David Pollay has written a book, and it's called The Law of the Garbage Truck, and he's here to talk about a simple way to make life happier. Welcome, sir. Thanks for being here.
Oh, thank you. It's great to be here.
It was your garbage truck, actually, that we saw out at the beginning of the show today.
You guys look great out there, too. You look very comfortable.
Thank you very much.
Love that garbage truck. It was very clean.
And you noticed it was very clean, brand new.
Thank you.
Cleanest one I've ever seen.
Let's talk about how you learned about the law of the garbage truck. How many years ago was it? 16, 18?
Almost 20.
20 years ago, okay.
Almost 20 years ago. I was in New York City, and at the time I was running a nonprofit organization focused on world peace and understanding and through economic understanding with businesses, and I happened to need to get to Grand Central Station. And so I did what everyone does in New York is, I flagged down a taxi, hopped in, and took off. But what happened was a very special ride, because that particular day the taxi driver was riding down the riding down the street real fast, and all of a sudden a black car jumps out of a parking space right in front of us. My taxi driver was slamming his brakes, the car skids, the tires squeal, the whole thing, and we stopped just 1 inch from the other cars back in. Now, I couldn't believe we just missed that major accident, but what I couldn't believe was the way the other driver, the one who almost caused the major accident, reacted. He turns around to us and starts yelling at us bad words. And in New York, bad words come with a special face.
Hand gestures, too,
yeah, right,
right?
Exactly.
Right.
Like we need that for emphasis.
Yeah, thanks.
And that's what he did. But what blew me away, what really surprised me, was the way my taxi driver responded. He just smiled and waved at the guy. And I mean, he was friendly. Wow. So I was sitting in the back seat saying, why'd you just do that? This guy could have killed us. He could have hurt us, sent us to the hospital. And that's when my taxi driver at that moment told me about something that I have now written about, what I call the law of the garbage truck.
He said, don't let other people dump their garbage on you. And that's the way he lived his life, right?
That's right. That was really the message. It was as simple as that. And then over time, I developed that philosophy and strategy, life strategy, into a way that we could really look at the metaphor of our lives as we don't want to be garbage trucks. We don't, want to accept other people's negativity, their frustration, anxiety, and disappointment, take it on personally as if it were our own. Sure. And then turn around, and this is the challenge, this is the second part that's so important, turn around and then dump that garbage on other people.
Mm-hmm.
I could see how being a taxi driver in New York City, you would face a lot of those kinds of situations, and really it boils down to just kind of letting it roll off your back.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And the taxi driver, because it's so visual for us, we see people coming in and out of their cab, and so I think your point is so good. And then the reality is all of us are essentially taxi drivers, because people are coming into our space on a daily basis, and we're moving into their spaces, and so we need to take that same thought that the taxi driver had that day and apply it in our work and in our families and so forth.
How do you train yourself not to react? Do you count? Do you breathe? What do you do?
Yeah.
Picture a meadow?
That's right. Well, it's a visual, and that's the power of the law of the garbage truck, is the visual of a garbage truck. And people ask me, say, how often do you keep it in your mind? I say, I keep it in my mind all day long, because I think of, I don't want to be a garbage truck. I don't want to accept excess negativity. I don't want to bring that into my life. And when I go home at the end of the day, challenging day, let's say, I don't want, when I greet my 7- and 8-year-old little daughters, Eliana and Ariella, I don't want to be a garbage truck in that.
Dumping what has been given to you back onto them.
Right.
It is a ripple effect, isn't it?
That's right. And then that comes back to you. And the same thing with your spouse, or when you call a friend, or or people you work with. So for me, what I do and what I suggest to people is just keep remembering the metaphor, and just say to yourself, I'm just going to smile. It's something we'll talk about, the No Garbage Trucks Pledge, but I'm just going to smile and let that pass by, so that I can focus on what's important.
Well, my instinct is to just say, well, too bad for that guy. I'm sorry he's living such a miserable life, because obviously he's very, very unhappy, but I'm not going to let that bother me.
Right. Well, I think what you just touched on is that we can offer what I call real-time forgiveness. Someone makes a bad move driving, or they do something not nice in a restaurant, rather than personalize it, we don't know what that gentleman was dealing with just before they came into our lives. So You just say, who knows what's going on? Let's let that pass by. I'm not going to judge him as a bad person. I'm just going to let that go because I don't need all that negative energy. I'd prefer that he's nice. I prefer it, but I'm not going to judge him harshly.
Okay, the name of the book is The Law of the Garbage Truck. Thank you for the little reminder. You've given us both little mini garbage trucks so we can keep these on our desks, and remember not to let anybody bring these into our life, not become one of these, right?
Yeah, that's right. And those little garbage trucks work, actually.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Great to be here.
Good reminder. David Pollay, thank you very, very much. You can get more information by going to our website, daytimeonline.tv, and click on the link.
We're going to take a pledge, but we'll do that during the break. Coming up on Daytime, if you're trying to sell a home these days, you know it can be pretty tricky.
That's right. So we will have an expert to kind of help us sort it all out. We'll be right back.